So I finished the soldering. So, I mean, as you saw, I soldered it and used some heat shrink tubing on it all. Some people will use like wire crimpers on it, and that idea kind of frightens me. I mean, that's kind of behind your car. If a wire comes loose and, you know, makes a short, then who knows? That's just not something that I want on my conscience. So I make everything super strong, and I don't have to worry about it. I mean, you can get the soldering iron for 10 bucks. One of these guys really helps hold the wires when you're just doing individual wires like this, because I mean, otherwise they're kind of flying all over the place. So this actually holds them so you can connect them together. And then, I mean, you can get a whole thing of heat shrink tubing like this for like $5 or $6. And I mean, do this. Don't use electrical tape, because tape gets old and hot and loses its stickiness, and then yeah, it's just a mess. So here's the actual instructions for the Mustang side of things, for the dash kit. So it has all your, all your labels there of what all the connections go to. And I think there's a PDF of this thing online, the entire manual. So if I can find that, I'll put that in the description if I remember to. And this is the Pioneer instructions, and I mean, it's pretty easy. I mean, it's kind of weird. It's not super straightforward at first glance what you're supposed to be doing, but it's all basically just here. So tell you yellow, red, orange, white, what all they do, and then you just match them up to the side. Most of the connections actually matched colors. I'm assuming there's some kind of industry standard for certain things, like all the speakers were matching colors, and power and accessory power were all the same. So it makes it a little easier and gives you a little more peace of mind that you're doing it right. And just, the second half here, more connections, and then all the speaker connections. But as you see, it's like kind of weird. You have to reference this picture of what goes where. It's kind of odd, but I mean, if you've done any of these before, you probably are used to it and know exactly what to expect. But in terms of any wiring that needs done, like soldering wise, I think this is it, just this one harness. There's a few other harnesses that come with it that I guess are just plug and play. So this should be it. So next step is to rip apart the Mustang and get like the start button and all that stuff, and put that into the new faceplate. So we'll get to that in another day, but I mean, for you, it'll be right now. I have the reverse sensing alerts in this car, so I'm going to show you what that actually shows like on the stock screen. And it's supposed to retain it on the new kit, but so you'll see it'll actually show like distance levels for each of the sensors on the back bumper. So let me turn the car on in my closed garage real quick and show you guys what that looks like. So if I put it in reverse, I'm sure how it's showing. see the green levels, how far, and there's like a thing for each leg. Yeah, I'm not sure how well that's showing, but yeah, that's what it looks like. So a tip when you unplug the battery is roll the windows down. Otherwise they won't do their little auto roll down and stuff. After the battery dies, and then the door will get stuck. One thing you got to look out for in this one is clips that come out. So there's one sitting right in there. I'm going to get pliers to get out, and one looks like it's gone. I have some spares, so I'm not too worried, but you want to be careful with that stuff. Clips always like to come out. Anyway, once all that's off, and finally you have your bolts. You got two up here and two down there. Just make sure you can see them. Let's get some light. So that had this little plate on it. So basically all you gotta do is just get your finger underneath it and just pry up. I mean, some trim pry tools, plastic ones would probably really help in all this, but I don't have them, and you know, make with what you do or what you have. So take these bolts out now. And once those are out, you can just start pulling this out. So there are some clips also behind the radio. I think there's, I believe, 3 or maybe just 2 on each side, but there are clips, so just gotta be aware. So you gotta give some decent tugs on it. I'm going to put a towel down to make sure that the edges of the radio don't scratch anything, because they, you can't really see it, but they're somewhat sharp. I mean, I wouldn't say sharp, but they could scuff something. So let's take it behind here. So you see, so there were 2 clips on each side. You can see. You can see I've been in here before. I replaced one. But so you got a few things to unplug here. So let's go ahead and do that. So this one has a little push in, kind of closer to the radio. There you go, got the radio. So that's what you got left in there. You got the CD player, which is this guy. So that is, I believe, like the actual radio. That's where like the antenna plugs in, and then obviously your screen there, and then the sync is behind that little dinky screen. So, but for now, this is all we need. The bezel. So we gotta take off these guys and put that on the new faceplate, and then we can finish up and remove the rest of that stuff. But for now, let's take this to the new radio and swap out the pieces we need.